Well, hello there, folks. Hope you're doing great. Hope you're having a great day out there as always today. So we do a new video on the Millionaire Explained series, and I put a nice presentation for you guys here today together. And we're going to talk about 5 keys on how to get rich before age 40, which I know is a goal of a lot of people out there, okay? And when I say rich, everybody has a different number for that. Everybody has a different mental image of when it comes to financial wealth, what rich really means, right? Like, I always consider like somebody is rich if they have over a $3 million net worth, essentially, okay? Meaning they have $3 million more in assets than they do liabilities. If you have $10 million plus, you're in the category I call super rich. And if you have over $100 million, you are disgustingly rich, okay? That's the type of categories, we're kind of talking about. But today we're just talking about getting to that point where you got $3 million plus more in assets than you do liabilities, okay? And the level of money when it kind of comes to wants, I kind of look at it like this, okay? You have the level 1, which is like, you don't want to have to worry about your bills, right? That's the very first level of caring about money and wanting money and those sorts of things, because you just don't want to have to, you want to be in a financial position where you don't have to stress over the rent payment or the mortgage or your car bill or the cell phone bill. And, there's definitely a lot of people out there, right, that every time a bill comes in, they are super stressed and, because they feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to make ends meet to basically pay that bill and things like that. So level 1 is just getting to a place where you don't have to worry about bills. Level 2 is like the level of I want to retire at 65, 70, and I want to have good money to retire, essentially, and not have to be reliant on family members or something like that. That's kind of the next level up, okay? Level 3, that's the people that they want to retire early. So they don't want to have to wait till 65, 70 years old to retire. They want to be able to hopefully retire maybe in their 40s, 50s, something like that, something before 65 to 70, right? You have level 4, which is I want to retire early. I also want to travel. I also want to have a nice house, a nice car. We're not talking about mansions and Rolls Royces, okay? We're just talking about decent car, decent house. They want to be able to travel the world and retire early, maybe in their 40s and 50s. Level 5, that's really kind of what we're getting into today. I want to get rich, right? $3 million plus in assets versus liabilities. And then you have level 6, which is the folks that say they want to get super rich, right? And level 7 is I want to get disgustingly rich, right? So today, the 5 keys on how to get rich before age, 40, this is a level 5 want, I call it. And I feel like my audience is a lot of people that want this specific level, okay? A lot of people that I feel like follow my content, they want to get rich and then chill, essentially. So they want to get a few mil and then kind of chill and respect. If you're one of those individuals, you want to get a few mil and just chill after that, respect. I can completely understand that. A lot of people look at me and they're why do you even still want to work and things like that? I would just be chilling on a beach somewhere. But everybody's kind of got different goals, right? And so, if you have a goal of getting to a few mil and then, relaxing after that, I can completely understand that. Everybody's got different things they're going after. For me, my vision for the past 12 years and still to this day is invest crazy money, get crazy gains on that money, be disgustingly rich, be able to hopefully change the way charity is done long term, and then hopefully be able to give away a silly amount of money to charity. And that's honestly my life's mission that I wake up with every single day outside of family related things, right? That's my life's mission. And that's when I think about where I'm trying to go and the things I'm trying to do, that's always been my life's mission for the last 12 plus years and still to this day. And so, that's why I still keep grinding. That's why I still keep working. That's why I still keep looking into new projects and services. That's why I keep looking into new stocks. I was literally just looking into 2-3 new stocks this weekend, right? And that's why I'm doing it still, because at the end of the day, if I'm going to get to where I'm trying to get to, I need a lot more than essentially what I have here today. So that's kind of, what I'm going after, and everybody's got different goals, right? So I hope you guys enjoy this. As always, if you don't mind, smash that thumbs up button. It helps our little YouTube channel out. I don't even think we're at 20,000 subscribers yet, so I appreciate you. If you want to join Stock Hub, it's absolutely free. You can chat stocks with a ton of other investors from all over the world out there. We're over 29,000 members in there. We got more members in Stock Hub now than we do subscribers on this channel. It's crazy, right? So let's get into these keys, guys. Number 1 of 5, you got to get rid of your scarcity mindset, okay? A lot of people, and I mean an immense amount of people, have scarcity mindset, okay? Which is essentially a mindset where you look and you say, there's a finite amount of money in the world. If I win, somebody else loses. And it's a really bad money related mindset. And I think the mindset comes from, especially for a lot of people that might grow up in poverty and things like that. And for my first 11, 12 years of life, I grew up in like a poverty-stricken neighborhood. And so if you never really get to see the good stuff, you never really get to see the prosperity that others experience and things like that, it can lead you to like a scarcity mindset. And you start thinking, man, if I take $5 from that guy over there, that means he's $5 more poor, when it's actually way more complicated than that. So you got to get rid of the scarcity mindset, and this holds back so many people I can't even explain it, okay? Thing you got to understand, there's literally an unlimited amount of money in this world, like literally unlimited, okay? Billions of dollars are created out of thin air literally every single day, okay? Though that's like the entire way the financial system works, the banking system, valuations of companies, all these things. Like literally every single day goes by and there are billions upon billions of dollars that are just created out of thin air. And that's a hard concept for people to even wrap their head around at first, because you grow up as a kid and you're like, you see a $20 bill and you're like, man, if I grab that $20 bill, then that's $20 in my pocket. But then if I spend it, that's $20 I don't have. And it's like a zero-sum game in your head, right? It's not the way it works at all. I can promise you that, okay? If that was the way it worked, where, money wasn't being created out of thin air, we would not have the economy we have. We would not have the financial system we have. We would not have the banking system. It'd be an ugly situation, okay? There's over 2,000 new millionaires created in just the United States of America every day. Today, as of recording this video, there's going to be 2,000 plus new millionaires today, okay? And Tesla stock's up a lot today, so it's probably going to be a lot more than 2,000. But in all seriousness, literally, that's every single day goes by, there's 2,000 plus new millionaires in the United States of America. So that's a large amount, right? And tomorrow there's going to be 2,000 plus more, right? The next day is going to be 2,000 plus more. The next day is going to be 2,000 plus more. And if you're not there yet, and you're grinding, and you keep up your work ethic, good chance you'll be in that statistic at some point in time down the road, right? There was a time when, I didn't know whenever I was going to hit that statistic, and then I hit that, statistics, and I became one of those numbers, right? And like, in order to get rid of the scarcity mindset, like, you got to understand, like you can come from nothing and get to pretty high levels, right? So like me, I started as like a minimum wage dishwasher, order taker at Einstein Bagels in 2008, like making like, $7.50 an hour or whatever, right? Then you fast forward, I'm grinding, I'm investing, all sorts of things. By 2014, I got $200,000 to my name. By 2018, I was over $1 million. And now, we're in late 2020, right before 2021. I got several stock accounts that are 7 figures plus. I have millions in real estate. I have a lot of cash. I have brands, all those sorts of things. So, if you just look at like my life, that's obviously a pretty, good example of kind of like, going from basically literally like the bottom and getting to a place where, you have a little something, let's put it that way. So, and believe me, I'm not the only example. There's, countless people that started very, very low on the totem pole and made their way to where they're at today. So, it don't matter where you're at. Believe me, you grind for a decade, a lot of stuff can change. Believe me on that, okay? There's a new billionaire in the world every 1 to 2 days. I basically wrote out $1 billion just to like mentally wrap your head around how much $1 billion is. Every day. Think about that around the world. Like we're talking $1 billion. Like that's so much money. It's hard to even like wrap your head around, right? And that's every day, man. Crazy, right? Scarcity mindset is a financial prison for your brain. That's the way I honestly view it. If you have scarcity mindset, your brain is in a financial prison, and you have to eventually like unlock it and let your brain out and get rid of that scarcity mindset, because it will continue to hold you back and not even get you close to, reaching your potential. And there was a long time I fought with some scarcity mindset. There really was. And then I had to kind of switch the way I was thinking. And I started really like looking at some of these numbers and understanding the way the financial system works. and start kind of realizing, oh my gosh, like it shouldn't have the scarcity mindset. It's ridiculous, okay? And I even know some people with good amounts of money that have scarcity mindset, but those people would have so much more money and be so much more successful if they didn't have that dang scarcity mindset. It's such a financial prison for your brain, okay? And if you're somebody that you've never seen prosperity, maybe you're in a poor neighborhood or poverty-stricken neighborhood, and maybe all your family members around you and your friends are all, in this situation where they're trying to make ends meet and can't find a way to pay the next bill and things like that. Just get out of that area, like for a day. I'm not talking about, moving out of the entire area. I'm talking about just get out of that area for a day and go. Good chance, like I don't care what American city you live in. If you live in the USA, and most people even in the world, there's going to be places you can travel that are within your distance where you can go see prosperity, right? I mean, a lot of times it's a 20, 30-minute drive, and go to those neighborhoods in those areas where there's definitely not scarcity mindset, right? And there's massive amounts of prosperity, and just spend some time there, man. And just, see the prosperity for yourself, because sometimes just seeing it is like a game changer for you mentally, and understand the way people live. Like I remember, some of my early times as kind of seeing the way different people lived, and like understanding, starting to realize like the levels of wealth. I remember, when we moved out of a poverty area to middle class, I thought my parents were rich because they got bought a house that was $200,000. Obviously now looking back, I'm like, that was silly. Like we were just kind of trying to move into the middle class essentially, right? Like, nowadays it's like, a house has to be millions to impress me, right? And so sometimes just getting out of whatever area you're in, whatever situation you're in, going to see some other stuff, it is so eye-opening, you won't even believe it. It will help get rid of that. It will help start to get rid of that scarcity mindset, okay? So that was number 1 of 5 up here. Number 2 of 5, invest every penny you can, okay? I mean literally every penny. There's no amount too small. I mean, sometimes I'll hear people say, well, I only have $75 to invest. It's not even worth it. Why? Why not? I mean, especially nowadays, like let's say you're a stock market investor, there's apps that you can invest on fractional shares. You don't have to pay trade commissions, things like that. Like, why is $75 not enough for you to invest? Why is $600 not enough for you to invest? Like, there's no amount too small. When I started investing, it was like $200, $300 at a time. And that would have been really a bad decision for me to say, well, I got $300 here, but it's too small of an amount. I'll wait till someday when I have like $10,000. Then I'll start investing. No, you got to get the ball rolling ASAP. And you got to get your mentality in a investing mentality ASAP. You can't wait on this stuff. You got to invest every penny you can. I remember I used to like run my checking account down to under $100 regularly when I worked at Quick Trip. And it wasn't because I was in like a bad financial situation. It's just because I was investing every penny I could. And I would run the numbers and I was like, okay, I got this bill coming in, this bill coming in. Okay, I can invest this max amount of money, $1,100 out. Next thing you know, my bank account's like under $100. It's at like $75 or whatever. And it's just because I was investing literally every penny I could as fast as I possibly could to build up those numbers, and build up those numbers. Okay. And remember, these small amounts, they end up adding up to very large amounts over time. So that, $600 investment, 10 years go by, all of a sudden became $6,000 or $7,000 or $10,000. And so it's all of a sudden like, wow, you probably should have invested that money, right? I mean, the amounts you build into, even from small amounts, get very large over time if you're a good investor, okay? So invest every dang penny you can. Don't ever think like your amount is too small. BS, okay? All right, number 3 of 5 key up here, if you want to get rich before age 40, is do not procrastinate. This is another thing that plagues a lot of people. They procrastinate these things. They'll say, I'll invest in the future. I'll start a side business someday in the future. They'll say, I'll start studying investing in the future. Why not today? Why not now? Why put it down the road and say, someday I'm going to do that? That's just ridiculous, okay? You don't get things done. You don't start really building true wealth, and you're definitely not going to get rich before age 40 if you're just always procrastinating and pushing the ball like over there, like, we'll get to that eventually, okay? To be, quite frank with you. When you say things like someday I'll do that, later I'll do that, down the road, in the future, all those are keywords for it is not important for me right now. And if you're trying to get rich before age 40 and you're trying to get to a very, very positive financial situation, if it's not important to you right now, it's probably not going to be important to you down the road, okay? You got to start today. Quit pushing it away. Say, I've got to do this now, okay? And with an attitude like that, like, good luck getting rich before age 40 if you're always procrastinating all those sorts of things. You're like, I'll do that eventually. It's like, okay, when? Whenever I usually procrastinate things, it's usually because it's not very important to me, okay? Like, I don't know, let's say there was something wrong around the house, right? Like, let's say, I don't know, something was wrong with a faucet or something, and I said, eventually I'll call a plumber to fix that, or eventually I'll fix that myself or something. It just basically means it's not that important to me right now. It's honestly, like, that's not that important to me right now, okay? Let's say a rim on a car was messed up, and it got all scraped up, like curb checked or something. I was like, oh man, that looks so ugly. I'm going to get that fixed eventually, right? It means it's not important to me right now. And if you're saying that about investing, I have a lot of trouble with that, especially if you're trying to get rich before age 40. Like, you just can't be saying stuff like that. You just can't be pushing it away. You got to get rolling today. Why not now? Is it important to you or is it not? Number 4 of 5, money preservation is key, especially when investing, okay? And I don't care what you're talking about, whether you're an investor of stocks, an investor of real estate or cryptos or commodities or whatever you're investing in, okay? Money preservation is key, meaning you don't want to lose a bunch of money because it sets you way behind the 8 ball, like when you're investing essentially. So I wrote out an example here. Let's say we got a guy named Johnny, okay? So Johnny puts he's got like $100,000 to his name. That's his entire like money he has, okay? That's his entire savings. So Johnny puts $100,000 into some speculative stock, right? And Johnny 2x's his money in 3 months. So good for him, okay? So now he's got $200,000 to his name. He did good. Now, he goes and he puts that $200,000 into another spec stock. And guess what? He 2x's his money again, okay? Now he's, in basically a 9-month time, that time. So now Johnny has $400,000 to his name, and he's only been in stocks for 1 year. So Johnny's like, man, I'm killing it. I'm going to keep going. Next spec stock, okay? Johnny puts all his $400,000 into the next spec stock. He loses 80% of its value over the next 12 months. Johnny now has $80,000 to his name, and he lost money over a 2-year span. So he lost time and he lost money, right? And so this is why having a disciplined approach is key to investing. Money preservation is key because you don't want to you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're taking a bunch of additional risk, especially if it's, people do this in the stock market. Like, they'll put their entire life savings essentially, or almost their entire life savings into like one stock or 2 stocks. And the problem with that is it might work out once. It might even work out twice. But I can promise you eventually it's going to bite you. And when it bites you, it's going to be so bad. It's going to be, unbearable essentially. And you're going to lose so much of your value of your money. And you're going to have lost time in the end. And so let's pretend Johnny here had his $100,000 and he had a disciplined portfolio. He had a mix of some growth stocks, a couple specs, some value stocks, some dividend stocks. Over that 2 years, Johnny probably would have grown into $50,000 or something like that. Never mind if he was doing really good investing, he might have gone to 170, 180. And so over those 2 years, he would have been in a much stronger position than if he was taking all that additional risk, right? Because you just don't know when to stop. Like, Johnny could have stopped at 200K. Why would he? Johnny could have stopped at 400K. Why would he? He's just got a gambler's mentality anyways, right? He's just throwing his money all over the place. So money preservation is key, absolutely key, okay? You like my little thing down here? Johnny's a Wall Street Bets member. That's a funny joke. People only know that if they know about Wall Street Bets, okay? All right, guys, number 5 of 5. We're going to talk about luck versus sustainable, all right? There's a difference between getting lucky and being sustainable, especially when you're talking about investing, okay? So let's say I live in Las Vegas usually. I'm at the Arizona house right now. But let's say I'm in Vegas, okay? And I go to the Wynn, and I don't know why it says slow, but let's say I put $20 into some slot machine, okay? And I win $20 and I get my $20 back. I just got lucky. That's not sustainable, right? I can't keep going to the slot machines and keep putting the money in and keep paying me out. Like, that's completely unsustainable. Eventually I'm going to, lose it all, essentially. That's just the way the game works, right? And so, let's say there's some guy that sees a Tesla stock, YouTube videos. Guy doesn't know much about stocks, the stock market. He sets up a Robinhood account. He says, what the heck? He buys $10,000 worth of Tesla stock. The guy has $100,000 later, okay? The guy was mostly lucky, okay? He was lucky to have seen those videos, and he was lucky that things worked out with him not really knowing what he's doing in the stock market or with stocks in general, okay? You can get lucky. There's no doubt about that. You can get lucky. Everybody can get lucky. But getting lucky is not a sustainable strategy over the long term. I can promise you that, okay? And there's definitely a lot of people I see out there that have gotten somewhat lucky where they've, been in something like a Tesla stock, and now they think they're the greatest investor, and they're like, oh my gosh, now I'm ready to be a full-time investor because I invested in Tesla stock and look at how much money it's made. And it's like, you probably not even know what you're doing in the market yet at this point in time. Do you know how to pick the next stock and the next stock and the next stock and the next stock and build out an overall really good portfolio? A lot of people just don't. And so they start thinking luck is a sustainable strategy, and it is not. That is like the one thing that catches everybody over time. Like, luck is not a sustainable strategy, okay? It's like, remember Forrest Gump, the scene in Forrest Gump movie, right? Where, somebody, I don't know if it was Lieutenant Dan or who got him, Forrest Gump to invest in. He thought it was some fruit company, right? Which was actually Apple. And he says, okay, we don't have to work anymore. Forrest Gump was lucky, right, to have invested in that, what he thought was a fruit company that was actually Apple Computer, right? So it's not a sustainable strategy. And, there's a great saying, the harder you work, the luckier you get, okay? Luck is not a sustainable strategy. Sometimes you're going to get lucky, and sometimes you're going to get lucky. And if I look at my last 12 plus years of investing in the stock market, there were years and times in stocks where I got lucky and everything worked out exactly how I planned, if not better, okay? And there were other times when, man, it was just such an unlucky situation and just things couldn't have gone worse. That happens, okay? But the fact is, at the end of the day, I'm a 100% believer in that quote. The harder you work, the luckier you get. The more often things are going to work out for you than don't work out for you. But just having luck is not a sustainable strategy. I will promise you on that, okay? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember all 5 of these keys. Come back to this video in the future. This is one of those videos you want to kind of save and keep in your notes or something, and come back and watch it every once in a while to kind of hopefully motivate you and keep you where you need to be and where your head needs to be over the long term. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, smash the thumbs up. It helps YouTube channel out in really a massive way. I appreciate you. And then if you want to join Stock Hub, it's absolutely free. The link is in the description for that. And you can chat stocks with a ton of other investors from all over the world. So hope you guys enjoy this, and peace.